There are moments in life when everything feels strange, as if the world around you is quietly shifting. You start noticing patterns, coincidences, and little nudges that don't seem random at all. It's like the universe is whispering to you, preparing you for something bigger. And deep down, you know it's not just your imagination. These are the signs that everything is about to change. Before every major transformation in your life, the universe starts communicating with you. But it doesn't do this through loud, obvious signals. It works through subtle messages, repeated patterns, and unexpected synchronicities. You might see the same numbers appearing everywhere, on clocks, receipts, license plates, or you might keep hearing the same phrase from different people, almost as if the universe is echoing a message until you finally listen. These signs aren't accidents, they are alignment. They're the universe's way of steering you toward your highest path, whether you're aware of it or not. Think about it. How often do you feel like certain events keep repeating themselves until you learn the lesson they carry? That's not punishment, that's preparation. The universe is training your awareness, making sure you're ready for the next chapter of your life. But here's the catch. Most people ignore these signals. They brush them off as coincidence or dismiss them because they don't fit into their logical mind. Yet, the moment you start paying attention, something incredible happens. The chaos begins to make sense. You start to see that there is order within the disorder, a hidden structure guiding your steps. What once felt random now feels purposeful. This is why awareness is everything. When you sharpen your ability to notice the signs, you open yourself to guidance that has been there all along. It's like tuning a radio. The signal was always being broadcast, but only when you adjust your frequency do you finally hear it clearly. And once you do, life begins to transform. Opportunities come faster, answers reveal themselves, and even obstacles begin to show their hidden meaning. The signs are already around you right now. The question is, are you paying attention? When the universe wants to prepare you for a shift, it doesn't just speak in symbols. It also rearranges your reality. Suddenly, certain people drift away while others show up out of nowhere. A job opportunity may vanish only for a better one to appear shortly after. At first, it feels uncomfortable, even unfair. But what's really happening is that life is removing what no longer serves you so that you can step into something greater. It's important to understand that change often begins with endings, and endings rarely feel pleasant. Think about when a chapter of your life suddenly closes. Maybe a friendship breaks apart, a relationship ends, or a door you thought was guaranteed slams shut. In the moment, it feels like loss. But if you look closer, these endings are often the universe creating space. You can't move into the next room if you're still holding on to the one behind you. This is why resistance causes so much pain. When you fight against what's leaving, you cling to the past and block the new from entering. But the universe knows what's ahead. It sees the bigger picture that you can't yet see, and sometimes it has to push you out of your comfort zone so that you won't stay stuck where you don't belong. Notice how these shifts often happen in clusters. It's rarely just one small change. Instead, life seems to hit you with multiple transitions at once. Relationships, work, health, or even your inner mindset. This cluster of changes is not chaos. It's acceleration. The universe is speeding up your growth, reshaping your path so that you can align with who you're meant to become. And here's the truth. The discomfort you feel during these moments is proof that something important is moving. Growth has never been comfortable, and transformation has never been gentle. The universe doesn't want you to break down. It wants you to break open, to expand beyond who you were yesterday and to step into who you're supposed to be tomorrow. That's why, when everything feels like it's falling apart, it's often because it's actually falling into place. If you pay attention during these transitions, you'll notice that the universe doesn't just remove or rearrange, it also sends you whispers of direction. These whispers come in the form of synchronicities. You start seeing repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 444 in unexpected places. A phrase someone says to you feels like it was meant only for you. A song plays on the radio, and the lyrics perfectly describe what you're going through. These are not coincidences, they're confirmations. They are signals that you're aligned with a shift that's bigger than you. The mistake many people make is brushing these off as meaningless. But the more you ignore them, the louder they get. Life has a way of amplifying signs until you can't avoid them anymore. That's why some people feel like they keep facing the same problem again and again. It's the universe repeating the lesson until it's finally acknowledged. Think about how often you've had an inner nudge to take action, but fear or doubt stopped you. That hesitation blocks the flow of what life is trying to deliver. The truth is, intuition isn't random. It's a compass built into you, designed to keep you in alignment. When you get that sudden gut feeling to call someone, apply for that job, or take that risk, it's not just your imagination. It's a bridge between you and the unseen intelligence guiding your path. And here's the part most people don't realize. These signs are not about the future alone. They're about who you are becoming in this very moment. Each one is a mirror, showing you what stage of transformation you're in. When synchronicities become frequent, it's like the universe tapping you on the shoulder saying, "You're close, keep walking." But with signs comes responsibility. You can't just notice them and do nothing. They demand action. If you see repeating numbers and feel a pull toward change, you must move. If conversations and opportunities are pointing you in the same direction, it's on you to follow. Ignoring signs is like ignoring a map in the middle of the desert. Eventually, the journey becomes harder than it needs to be. The real power lies not just in noticing the signs, but in trusting them enough to act. Because every time you do, you align more deeply with the flow of life, and doors begin to open that once seemed impossible. Once you begin trusting the signs and actually taking steps guided by them, something fascinating happens. Your reality begins to reorganize itself around you. You'll notice that people who no longer resonate with your growth start drifting away, while others who match your new frequency suddenly appear in your life. It can feel unsettling at first, almost like your world is being dismantled. But this is not chaos, it's alignment. The universe isn't punishing you. It's removing everything that no longer belongs to the version of you that's emerging. This is where many people struggle the most because change often feels like loss. The job you once thought was secure might suddenly feel unbearable. Relationships that once gave you comfort may begin to feel heavy. Old habits that used to distract you stop giving you the same satisfaction. At first, you might resist and try to hold on, convincing yourself that this discomfort is just a phase. But the truth is, this is the universe clearing the space for something new. Think of it like renovating a house. Before new walls can be painted, the old ones must be stripped. Before new furniture can arrive, the clutter has to be cleared. Transformation is not just about addition, it's also about subtraction. And this subtraction often feels uncomfortable because it forces you to release what you've outgrown. But if you trust this process, you begin to see the hidden blessing in it. Every closed door creates the space for another to open. Every goodbye makes room for a new beginning. And every ending carries within it the seed of a new chapter. The discomfort you feel is simply the stretching of your soul into a bigger container, one that can hold the version of life you're truly meant to live. Here's the secret most people miss. When the universe is preparing you for change, it rarely happens in the way you expect. You might think you need to plan every step, but life often works through detours. You lose one opportunity, only to find a far greater one waiting down the path you never would have taken otherwise. You face a setback, only to realize later it was a setup for something better. This stage requires trust, not blind hope, but the kind of trust that comes from knowing that life has always guided you here, even through moments you thought were mistakes. If you look back, you'll notice patterns. Things that once broke you were actually shaping you. Times when you felt abandoned were actually times when you were being redirected. That's how the universe works. It rearranges your reality in ways you might not like in the moment, but in the long run, you see that it was always for your evolution. The more you accept this, the less you resist. And the less you resist, the more you align. This is how transformation accelerates. Not by controlling everything, but by allowing what is meant for you to enter while releasing what isn't. When you begin to live in alignment with the signs, you'll notice a shift not only in the outer world, but also in your inner state. Your intuition becomes sharper, your awareness deepens, and you start to feel a quiet confidence that wasn't there before. It's almost like carrying an inner compass that keeps pointing you toward the right direction, even when the path looks uncertain to everyone else. This shift is subtle at first. Maybe you wake up with less anxiety, sensing that something is moving in your favor even if you can't see it yet. Maybe you stop overthinking as much because you've learned to recognize the nudges of the universe and trust them. This inner calm is not accidental. It's a result of being in sync with the flow of life rather than constantly pushing against it. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Once you tune into this flow, synchronicities don't just appear randomly anymore. They multiply. It's as if life begins responding to your awareness. You think of a solution, and suddenly someone brings it up in conversation. You feel ready for a change, and almost instantly, an opportunity presents itself. What was once invisible starts becoming undeniable. But there's a challenge hidden here. When the signs become clearer and the opportunities start showing up, it can feel overwhelming. Many people hesitate. They start questioning whether they're ready, whether they're capable, whether they're worthy. And this hesitation can delay the very shift they've been asking for. That's why awareness alone isn't enough. Action is the bridge between seeing the signs and stepping into the life they point toward. The universe can only guide you as far as your willingness to move allows. Think about it. You might see countless signals nudging you toward a new chapter, but if you keep clinging to the old one, the signs eventually feel like noise. They don't lose their power. You just stop responding. And when you stop responding, life feels stagnant again. So the real test is this. Will you act on the guidance even when it feels risky? Will you take the leap, even when the ground beneath you hasn't fully appeared yet? This is where transformation crystallizes. By choosing to step forward despite the uncertainty, you prove that you trust the alignment more than your fears. And the reward for this trust? Freedom. Freedom from second-guessing every decision. Freedom from constantly chasing what was never meant for you. Freedom from the loop of worry and doubt. You begin to live with the knowing that every step you take in alignment moves you closer to the life you were always meant to live. The people around you will notice the difference too. You'll radiate a certain clarity, an energy that says you're no longer chasing. You're simply walking with purpose. This energy attracts even more alignment, creating a cycle where signs, action, and transformation feed into one another, lifting you higher each time. There comes a moment when you realize the signs were never just outside of you. They were also within you all along. The synchronicities, the repeating numbers, the unexpected encounters, yes, those are real, but the greatest sign is the way your own soul responds when truth is near. That sudden spark of recognition, that quiet but undeniable, this is it. That's the universe speaking in its purest language. When you reach this place, you stop chasing signs and start embodying them. Your life itself becomes a message. You begin to see that you were never separate from the flow. You are the flow. The universe doesn't whisper only through symbols and coincidences. It whispers through your instincts, your decisions, your courage to trust. And the more you embody this truth, the less you need to rely on constant proof. You no longer wait for the next sign to tell you if you're on the right path. You know you're on it because your life feels aligned, grounded, and alive. The restlessness that once made you question everything begins to fade, replaced by a calm certainty that no matter what shifts, you will always be guided. This is the real secret. The signs were never meant to control you, they were meant to awaken you. They were gentle reminders pointing you back to the awareness you already carry. Once you understand this, every step, every breath, every choice can be seen as part of the guidance. There's no longer a fear of missing the message because you realize you are the message. And from here, everything changes. You walk differently. You listen differently. You trust differently. Life feels less like a battle to be won and more like a river to be navigated. Even when storms come, you sense the deeper current carrying you exactly where you're meant to be. So the next time the universe sends a sign, pause and listen. Not with your mind, but with your entire being. Because that sign isn't just pointing to the next chapter of your life, it's reminding you of the truth. You were always part of something bigger, and now you finally see it.